Canadians pay 20% more for goods than our neighbours to the south.
And the City of Toronto urges ethnic street food enterprises to shut down. Humber News starts right now.
Hello, it's Thursday, April 14th. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Centre here at the North Campus. I'm Sangeeta Patel. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Uwais Motala. Ahead on our show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Sangeeta has our top story.
Richard Kachkar, the man accused of killing Police Sergeant Ryan Russell, was remanded in custody during his first brief video appearance at a College Park courthouse today. Kachkar is charged with first-degree murder in the death of Russell, who was run down by a snowplow on January 12th. Kachkar was shot by police after their tasers were ineffective against him. His case was delayed to April 27th.
Despite the Canadian dollar reigning almost 4 cents above the US dollar, a new study released by the Bank of Montreal says that Canadians are still paying top dollar for goods, sometimes up to 20% more. Humber News reporter Ardo Zakarian has the details.
Canadian shoppers have been paying more for their goods than Americans for decades. However, a new study released by the Bank of Montreal says although the Canadian dollar currently sits at 4 cents above par, shoppers are paying an average of 20% more for the same goods found in the States. The study says electronics are priced almost 30% more and running shoes are 48% more in Canada. And the gap will be growing larger over time, even though the study predicts the loonie will stay above par through 2012. Tanya Casting, the manager at Foot Locker at Woodbine Mall, says the higher prices have hurt business.
If we sell it for about $100, in the States, say Florida or whatever, we'll sell it for about $20, $30. And I mean, a lot of people will be like, well, I'm going to Florida in like 2 weeks, I'll just buy the shoes there.
Some shoppers like Seema Shuhan say prices should reflect the worth of our currency.
But I don't think it's fair. I think we should have the same prices, and especially that our dollar is like worth more now.
Many Canadians were expecting to save money on goods with the loonie soaring high. However, experts say Canadian retailers have higher costs than their counterparts in the States and that Canadian manufacturers are charging higher prices to those retailers. Arda Zakarian, Humber News.
The Toronto Pride Parade may lose its funding if the controversial group called Queers Against Israel Apartheid is allowed to march. Deputy Mayor Doug Holliday and Councillor Giorgio Mammoleti say the parade shouldn't get funding from the city if these activists take part. However, a report by city staffers says the participation of the group does not violate anti-discrimination bylaws. Mayor Rob Ford has argued against funding Pride in the past because of the anti-Israel group.
A report has been released by the city recommending food vendors under the Toronto a la carte street food project be shut down. The project first started with 8 vendors, each of them serving up culturally diverse menu options. The report comes after growing concerns of mismanagement and low profit. Humber News reporter Miranda Anthosol has more.
Street meat, everyone's guilty pleasure. Back in 2009, Torontonians were introduced to a new initiative by the city to have healthier, more diverse food choices under the pilot project named Toronto a la carte. Issa Ashterier has been part of the project since it began and serves up Middle Eastern cuisine from his food cart at the corner of College and University. He is in debt by over $100,000 and says there's been problems with the project since the beginning.
The whole program is being mismanaged by the city, and that's why it's failed. They didn't do proper planning at the beginning.
For Mr. Ashterier, there are many things that can be done to improve the program, such things as allotting a better location to the vendors, as well as allowing them to buy the $30,000 food carts from more than just one manufacturer. The city also released a report that had similar recommendations. Manager of Economic Development and Culture Mike Williams is one of the city's committee members involved in the report. He says the program needs to be revamped significantly, starting with ending the pilot and moving forward with a different approach.
So we're putting it into a review which will involve the industry, involve businesses, involve the city hall, to try to find a way to make it work for everybody.
Williams says the program needs to be restructured, but the overall goal is an important one because it reflects the diversity of Toronto. Ashterier will continue to serve up Middle Eastern delicacies in order to pay off his debt. Miranda Anthosol, Humber News.
After a 4-hour debate, the idea of new gender-based schools has been postponed. The Toronto District School Board decided more research needs to be done before they go forward with the proposal. Director of Education Chris Spence proposed the idea over a year ago. His proposal also includes a sports school and a choir school. Spence says he hopes these schools will help increase student enrollment and engagement. But board trustee Marie Rutka says her concern is single-gender schools promote stereotypes. The Toronto District School Board already has one all-girls school.
Positive schoolwork may be stressful for students, but an American study shows that heavier course loads produce higher grades. The high school transcript study was conducted by the National Assessment of Educational Progress. It says the average GPA rose 0.32 points over a period of 20 years. The report shows the higher academic performance is linked to an increase in workload and courses. The head of the study group says the research confirms higher secondary school standards are needed.
When we come back, we'll have more news from around the country and the world. Bridget Trong will have the sports news, and we'll have your weather forecast with Tom Yanni.
Well, you can get out and enjoy the sun today and tomorrow because it looks like it's going to rain this weekend. I'll have some ideas about what you can do on a rainy day after the break.